Mm. Oh, hey, it's Justin. I'm back, and I'm here to talk to you about making sandwiches. Are you hungry yet? It's Wednesday. Have you made a sandwich this week? Hey, I bet you're getting hungry if you haven't. It's time to make a real estate sandwich. The kind of sandwich where the homeowner is one slice of bread, you're the meat in the middle, and then you have a what is this? This lettuce. I don't know. And then you have a tenant buyer that's the other slice of bread. And so you're the meat in the middle of the sandwich. See, that's you right there, all looking all delicious. Delicious and tasty. You know what? You might look a little cheesy. I'm not sure. Maybe I look a little cheesy. Welcome. I'm glad you're here today. Thanks for watching. There's a lot of folks that watch this on a day-to-day basis, and I want to say thank you very much. You could be doing a lot of other things, but you're not. You're watching me, and I feel so blessed for that. So thank you so much. Feel free to put things in the chat or the comments where you're watching this on whatever platform that may be, and I would like to try to check in on those if I can remember. But today we're going to talk about dispositions again. Pretty house wholesale dispositions in particular, because we've been on a series about that this week. And today I'm going to dive a little deeper into it yet again. This is part 3 of the disposition series. So go back and check 1 and 2 if you haven't seen them yet, because I dropped some real insider knowledge. That's right. So go find the Disposition Madness live streams 1 and 2. This is number 3 today. Here we go. All right. This is realestatewholesalersclub.com. The first thing I want to point out here is you can go there. It costs no money. All right, realestatewholesalersclub.com, and you'll see that I have a menu of options for you. The second item on the menu is an online event, and it is the Stop Procrastinating 3-Day Challenge. We have ourselves a challenge, people. And that is, can you beat yourself? Can you be better than you were this year, next year? That's really the question. Can you get it done? Well, you want to get it done. I know you. You'd like to get it done, but you need a plan. And I want to help you plan your next year at the end of this year. So this 3-day challenge is for those of you who are struggling with pressure to succeed in real estate, but you somehow lack the ability to get it off the ground and going. Your activity level is what I'm talking about. You can't seem to get the right activities pinned down and get them going in a daily habitual, I like to call them habits, rituals, and routines. And you've got all 3 of them, whether you realize it or not. Some of you ritualistically watch football every week. It's a ritual. You get together with your buddies. Yeah, it's very tribal. That's right. There's nothing, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but where does real estate fit in? Are you habitually doing that? Oh, no, you're habitually watching. And I told you that makes you a fanatic. You're a fan of real estate. But are you habitually, is it a real estate habit? Is real estate a habit? Okay. And then have you been able to turn it into a routine? Yeah. See, that's the beauty of what I've been able to do. Thank God. With his help. Oh, I've been able to turn it into a routine. And you know what? It's a routine of freedom. I'm happy. I just booked a cruise with some friends yesterday, I think it was. Next year, we're going, several places I've never been before. I'm excited about it. Why can I do that and pay for it? Just because, you know what? It's a good life. It's a good life. It's a life where I get to have some choices and some options. And by golly, I get to have some freedom. My promise to you during this 3-day challenge is you will start to take action on your real estate wholesaling investing business. Now, here's the dates: December 27th. There's going to be it's 3 days, 1 hour a day on Zoom. There will be no public replays. I'm going to have some tough conversations. I'm going to pinpoint some specifics, and we're going to break through some of the things that are just really honestly mental masturbation that are holding you back from getting going. Okay. What do I mean by mental masturbation? Overthinking and not doing. It's what's called action faking. When we do stuff, but we're not really doing it. Okay, I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, my mom told me to go wash the tub in the bathroom. Go clean the tub. That's your chore for the day. I went in there and I was going to clean the tub, and I cleaned the tub. And I spent a lot of time cleaning that tub. Because I'll tell you what, you did not want to make my mama upset. You did not want to disappoint mom. No, sirree. What you wanted to do was you wanted mom to be happy and say, oh, you did good. Okay. And then when you go to the store, maybe you'll get a little $5 G.I. Joe man. That's what it cost back then. Maybe. Now, you had to get good graces. In fact, that was her name, Grace. That is her name. All right. My brother caught me coming out of the bathroom. He said, hey, listen here. Anything you want to do, anything you don't want to do more than once, don't do well. I said, what? What? Yeah. Anything you don't want to do more than once, don't do it good. If you don't want to do that bathtub cleaning thing all the time, don't do it good. I was like, but she'd get mad at me. Yeah, let her get mad at you. Oh. You guys seeing that? You picking up what I'm laying down here? See, the problem is we live our lives that way, though. All right, it's all right in little things maybe to do something like that, but in life we can't let the little things go. There's an old proverb that says it's the little foxes, it's those little ones, man. Those are the ones that are eating the grapevine out there. That's why you don't have no wine to drink, right? Because them little things, it's the little tiny things. And we live our lives that way. Hey, nothing that like I'm secretly not doing real estate. Here, I'm just going to point it right out to you. I'm secretly not doing real estate well because I don't really want to do it the way that I feel like it has to be done, because that would require me to work and me to change and me to be different and me to structure my life with some discipline in it. And I'm just not ready for that. I'm just not grown up yet. Those are the people that I'm trying to reach right here with this show, with this 3-day challenge to get up off your seat and start doing something. If there is ever been a coach in real estate that is the coach for the newbie, you're looking at him. All right. So let's jump right into the dispositions training, since I went ahead and just basically went crazy right there for 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to hop right into the same checklist we've been going through the last couple of days. And we won't go through it again. Yesterday, we stopped at the application part, okay, sending the paperwork. So I'm going to recap a little here because I did go over it pretty briefly yesterday. And I want to go a little bit into sending the tenant buyer out to the property. You talk to the tenant buyer while they're at the property. When they say yes, now you want to go to mysmartmove.com and send them an application. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how do I do that? Well, there is an example in a video in the training module in my course, which is available at realestatewholesalersclub.com for $95. Crazy cheap. It comes with 1 hour of free tutoring one-on-one with me even. Okay. And you'll understand why I do that is because, one, I'm the people's coach, but also because I'm looking for future partners to work with on deals and stuff too. Okay. So if you got, and I'll dispo some of your deals. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so it behooves me to spend an hour with somebody that's serious enough to buy my course to see if I can get you into a position to partner up with me. Wouldn't that be, I mean, how genius am I? It's not that complicated. Okay. So that's why I do what I do the way I do. All right. Now, I haven't always dispoed people's deals, but I'm in there now. Okay. So, but I'm teaching you here this week. This is how you would do dispo if you're inclined to. Okay. Now, that's probably dumb of me, but I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. All right. But here's the thing. You're going to go to mysmartmove.com. There's a video in the course that talks about it. You can get the course at realestatewholesalersclub.com. You can get it with or without coaching. Now you're going to send them that electronic application. It's going to go to them in their email, the tenant buyer prospect. They're going to fill it out. In it, it's going to have an email that says, hey, would you like to go ahead and click this button and start the background check and everything? And they're going to do that. So they're going to be charged. You're not going to be charged. Okay. All of that. There's an example video in the course. Okay. Criminal background check, sex offender registry, all of that. But you're going to have to make a little bit of legwork happen here. And you're going to have to call the previous landlords. You're going to have to call some employers. You're going to have to call and get references. And it's easy to do when you call an employer, you call a landlord, you call a reference. Hey, I'm so-and-so. So this person applied to move into a property and I'm just vetting their application. Is this true that they worked there? Not worked, but work. Are they currently employed here? Okay. And it says here that they make $4,500 a month. Is that okay? You can't tell me that, but you can tell me that they are full-time employed here. And okay, so I can put two and two together kind of here. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, you're going to have some conversations happen like that too. Okay. All right. So don't worry about that. But if they are employed there, and you can say, have they been employed there for the last, they've told us that they've been employed there for about the last 36 months. The human resources person might say, well, yeah, they've been employed here since January 21st of 2018 or whatever. They may open that up and tell you that, or they may just say, all I can tell you is that they are currently employed here. Okay. They may ask you to send them something to verify that you're who you say you are. It's not that complicated, but you do have to do it. Okay. Why do you have to do it? Because you don't want a clown show in your property deal. Okay. The next thing, make sure everything is filled out in all of these respects. You want to cross your T's and dot your I's, so to speak. Okay. All right. You're going to verify, is this actually a bank statement that they gave me? Or is this a check stub? Or is, a pay stub? Or is this what? Don't let it just go to plan. Okay. Now, My Smart Move will do a lot of this for you, but you're going to have to do some of this legwork yourself too. Okay. If you get red flags thrown at you by mysmartmove.com about them, then you really want to take a look at pay stubs that they gave you or whatever they're giving you to prove that they are who they say they are and that they're making money and blah, blah. Okay. And why would they do this? You're not even asking for all of this stuff, but this is how they chase you. See, I'll chase you. Oh yeah, we got pay stubs. Okay, great. Well, you better check them. You better call them. Call that employer. Hey, I've got pay stubs from 2 months of this person's, and they say they've been working there a couple years at Gary's garage shop and bait and tackle. This is Gary? Yeah. You got a guy working there. He's trying to apply for a place to live over here. He says he's been working there for 2 years and he says he makes X amount of dollars and at the bait shop. Is that right? Yeah, he works here. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Gary. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Click. Okay. You're going to have to do that. And I know I've kind of belabored this a long time today, but I just want you to know that if you go and put a clown show in your property, if you're sandwiching it, you're dumb. And if you're assigning it, you're mean. Okay. Just do a good job. So make sure these people are people that you kind of trust to move in and actually pay the rent and take care of the place. Right? That's the point I'm getting at. Okay. Also, you want to ask the tenant buyer here. It says, can they get a mortgage in 1 or 2 years? Can they afford the house? You want to advise the tenant buyer at some point here, hey, have you talked to a home loan lender about this rent to own stuff? Okay. Well, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. They need to. Maybe you advise them to, hey, before you get into a rent to own deal, I suggest you visit with a home loan lender so that you have a good plan for getting the mortgage to purchase the home during the time frame of the lease. Okay. Whether they do or whether they don't, you advise them. Okay. But you hope they do. I'll tell you, in my life, in my career, a lot of tenant buyers I work with, they'll pass the credit check, which means they got some dings, but they're pretty solid on paying the bills. Okay. They've got good jobs. There's something wrong keeping them from getting a mortgage. Their FICO score isn't high enough, or they haven't had job history for quite 2 years yet at this place that they say they love working at and everything's working out great. Something like this. Okay. I'll tell them, hey, go visit a mortgage lender, get a good plan, make sure you can qualify. Oh, yeah. Oh, we will. I know they didn't. Okay. I'm telling them right now. And they're going to sign off that they did in my disclosure. Okay. I have a tenant buyer's disclosure and they're going to sign off. Oh, yeah. Justin told us to go see a mortgage guy and get a good plan so that we don't go into the deal not knowing anything. But in reality, they don't really go. Okay. A lot of them don't. Will I still do the deal with them with a suspicion that they haven't? Sure. Why? Because they checked out in all the other ways. They seem fair enough in all the other ways. Okay. So I'm inclined to, but I'm advising them and I'm going to have them sign off on a disclosure that they've been told to. They're in that same disclosure, and that's in the course too, by the way, but I talk about in the same disclosure that they've been advised to visit a mortgage lender. They've been advised to get an inspector on the house. They've been advised to get an appraisal on the house. They've been advised to get a broker's price. What is that? BPO, broker's price opinion or whatever. Okay. Whatever you need, go talk to your accountant, go talk to your lawyer, go talk to your realtor buddy, go pray to your God. Do your due diligence. And they will sign off on that before we let them move in, that they've been advised to do all of those things. In that same disclosure, it says any money they're putting into the deal is non-refundable and they know it. It also says that they have no ownership rights in the house until they buy it. They are renters and they acknowledge that. They also acknowledge in that disclosure that no one is promising them that the house will go up in value or that it will not go down in value during the time of the lease. Oh, yeah. All there in that disclosure. But I kind of want to verbally say some of these things too as I'm visiting with these folks. Okay. Why? Because it puts me in a position of authority because I'm telling them what they need to do to qualify for my deal. Okay. I'm giving them good advice. I'm being a big brother here. Hey, listen, if you guys are going to rent to own this deal, I really recommend that, you guys have filled out the background screens and you look good and everything. Hey, I recommend you guys, if you want, you should definitely consider going and visiting with a mortgage guy at least. Okay. Now, I know when you go to buy the house, you'll have an inspector come out and you'll have an appraiser come out then for your lender. But it might be smart if you feel like there might be something wrong with the house, have it looked at. They don't usually do that. They don't usually do any of that. These are pretty houses. They assume, oh, this is beautiful and I'm saving money. I'm not being forced to get an inspection. I'm not being forced to get an appraisal. I know. If you're like me, you're sitting back right now listening to me going, man, that sounds crazy. That sounds absurd. I would definitely, before dropping $25K on a deal, I'd have an inspector go take a look for for a couple, $200-300, whatever it is. Have an appraisal done on it, so I know I'm not buying some crazy deal. The appraisal is only $450, but I'm going to drop 25K on a property I know nothing about. Yes, that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. Okay. But we advise them to make a wise decision. Okay. We advise them to do what is an intelligent thing to do. Okay. Now we're going to keep a log of all of the things that we have in exchange as far as docs between me and any party. We've got a Google Drive folder with everybody's info in this property address folder. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If we do not get a good response out of if we do not get a good result out of mysmartmove.com and their credit is bad, really bad, they don't pay nobody, they've been evicted a couple times, and one time was in the last couple years, and they also and you'll get hit up by people like this sometimes. I'm just telling you. Thank the good Lord for mysmartmove.com, because it'll help out some of this stuff for you. And then they'll give you a renter score, like a FICO score, but it'll be a rental score. Okay. And then you can basically just kind of judge off what they say. If you want, I like to take a screenshot of that dashboard and just share that with the homeowner. I don't try to give the homeowner the credit report and the background screens and all the private information. I try not to do any of that. What I try to do is just, Mr. Homeowner, here's a screenshot of what TransUnion My Smart Move says about them. And you can see their FICO, what it is, and you can see the renter score up there is pretty good. Now, Mr. Homeowner, I've called their place of employment. I've verified that he works at the county sheriff's office and that she works at the local fire department, and they've both been there employed. He's been there about blah blah years. She's been there, it looks like 2-3 years at least. So she's doing some kind of secretary work over there. Sweet couple. I think what's keeping them from being able to qualify for the loan is this and such, but they have been advised and are working with a home loan lender to get a good plan to be able to qualify for the home during the time of this lease. So, we sent them out there Saturday, Mr. Homeowner. They are interested in doing the deal. They do have the money. We are ready to go. I just need you to say yes. Let's do it. And I'll send you the paperwork, Mr. Homeowner. I'll send them the paperwork. We'll get this thing tied up, and then I'll have them wire some money for the deposits and so on and so forth into your account. Mine too. Does that sound right, Mr. Homeowner? Are we ready to start that tonight? Boom. Boom. Money made, baby. Money made. Now, I'm not lying to the guy. I'm not deceiving the man. He may say, well, now I need to see something. Okay, Mr. Homeowner, what I'll do is I'll email you a screenshot of what TransUnion is saying about them. The credit reporting bureau. Okay, that they have a screening service that we use. And yeah, I mentioned this to you before when I was contracting the deal, but we do have them, and they've produced a report for us here, and I'll take a shot of that report. And what they give us numbers. Okay. The world is all about privacy, Mr. Homeowner. So what they're giving us is scores. And so I'll take a screenshot of their scores and send that over to your email. All right, sir. So when you get that, you'll see for yourself that what I'm telling you is accurate about these folks. And I'll call you in about 30 minutes and get this thing going. Does that sound good? Okay, great. See you later. I'm excited, Mr. Homeowner. I think you're really going to enjoy these folks. These are some good folks. Okay. There is those conversations that is happening during this process. I'm going to go back a little bit because we talked yesterday about that initial conversation that you're going to have with the tenant buyer. And I want to back it up. All of this stuff's in my course, by the way. But let's back it up and let's explain what a rent to own is to a tenant buyer. Now, this was in that first 3-minute conversation. If you remember, I was talking about you're going to, during the pre-qualification stage of pre-qualifying a tenant buyer. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to explain to them, yeah, Jimmy, Jimmy and Sarah, sure, here's what it is. Think of a rent to own like when you rent to own, like when you rent a house and you might decide that you want to buy it later. Okay, so do you know how that works? No matter what they say this. Okay, Jimmy and Sarah, let me explain. I'll let you live in the house for a year renting it, and if you want, you can buy it during that time, or buy it later. Does that make sense? You need to give some money at the start, kind of like when you rent a car, but you can decide to buy the house anytime during the year, and when the year is over, you have 3 choices. Jimmy and Sarah, you can buy the house, you can find another place to live, or if you need more time to get a loan, I can probably figure something out to give you some extension. Oh, and have you saved any money to start buying a house? This helps you know what they can afford. If they say they have no money, get off the phone. If they don't have enough money to satisfy you, get off the phone. If they do have enough money to start satisfying your greedy gland, then what you want to say is if they say they have some money, you know what you can talk about. That's why we don't say how much money we want up front. Okay, we don't advertise. We want 10,000 down, 15,000 down. We advertise, if we advertise a number at all, it's a high number. 25, but we'd really be happy with 15. Okay. But a lot of times I don't even say what the number is. All right. So we want to know how much money they have. The person that speaks first loses, right? So we want to know how much money they will volunteer into the deal. If they say they have 10 grand and you only needed 5, well, just say that's good. Okay, that's good. 10,000, that we might be able to make that work. I mean, don't you think you would if you only need 5? All right. So you don't have to tell them you only wanted 5. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. I hope it does. A lot of times, if you get into my packet, you'll find that I have an agreement with the tenant buyer. And here's what the agreement package looks like. And we'll probably go over this again. We'll get deeper into it tomorrow. But let me share screens with you. It consists of like 3 different forms, okay? We're going to send all the paperwork. By the way, if they're rejected by mysmartmove.com, if they really aren't very good potential prospects, you're going to be able to send that letter right from My Smart Move, just an automated letter. Just click a button and they get a rejection letter. Okay, send all the paperwork. What does that mean? Well, you're going to send paperwork to the tenant buyer, okay? But first, you're going to have some conversation with them about how some of this works. You're going to have to tell them they're going to need renter's insurance. $100,000 worth. You're going to have to tell them that's what's in the agreement. Okay. How do I know that? Because that's in the acquisitions side. That's in the agreement for the homeowner. All right. So you see how everything is tied back to what I set this up when I was doing the deal. I promised that I would have $100,000 worth of renter's insurance. It ain't that expensive. I'm going to have to explain to the tenant buyer, hey, listen, you are aware that it costs $2,300 a month to rent this house, and that if you decide to buy it during the time of the lease or just right after, you're going to have to buy it for this price, right? Okay, you understand that your maintenance is all about you right now on the property. You're taking that on. You feel like the house is in good shape? Great. You don't feel like you need an inspector? Great. Are you prepared to do little things? If something goes wrong with the toilet handle, okay, great. You know where to send payments. Let me give you my address if I'm sandwiching it. Let me give you the homeowner's address if I'm not sandwiching it. Okay. Make sure you got a copy of their driver's license and when they were born, their birthdays and stuff or whatever. Okay. Your social security and birthday, or a copy of their driver's license even is the best. Does the seller require a different lease agreement? So here's the first thing. You might have a lease that you do. You might have to fill out a lease with the tenant buyer. You might not. It's not a requirement, but if the seller requires you have a lease, then you'll have to do it. You'll also need an option agreement or an assignment agreement, which is what I have. Okay, if I'm assigning it, I'm going to assign it. I'm walking away. If I'm sandwiching it, I'm going to need an option agreement. Okay, I'm also going to need that disclosure. That is all it takes to do the paperwork. Those 3 items, and that one item is iffy. That lease, you might not need a lease, only if the homeowner wants to use a special lease of his own or something he recommends or wants. All right, so we're talking about an assignment or an option, and we're talking about a disclosure. That's it. Now, tenant buyer, I need you to sign these. The homeowner, if I need him to sign anything, I'll have him sign something. Sometimes I don't even need him to sign anything. Just the tenant buyer or me. Now, I need you to go to the bank, Mr. Tenant Buyer, and wire me the money. Woo, that's where the money happens. Okay, so we'll talk more about this stuff tomorrow. We're going to get a little deeper into dispositions again tomorrow and probably Friday as well. So stick around with me and we'll talk about making sandwiches, okay? Sandwiches where you're the meat in the middle. Don't forget about the 3-day challenge. We're all about getting you up and going in real estate. Right now, I have a couple really great holiday specials going on at realestatewholesalersclub.com. I like you. You can do this. You've been trying. Why don't you get some help? Okay. Make a friend or two that can really help you move the needle. Okay. I love you. I appreciate you very much.